This is Jerina and Waltteri. They come from Tampere in Finland, and this is their first ever time visiting London. They're actually here for a video game music festival this weekend, but for today, they actually have 24 hours in the capital of England with no idea what to do. Lucky for them, they've got me, Evan Edinger, planning their full day itinerary. Now, because I moved here 12 years ago from the US, I saw the city at first from a tourist perspective, and then slowly, now I see it from a Londoner's perspective. And I think any good itinerary of the city should have a nice balance of touristy parts and more niche parts, and that's exactly what I plan to do. That being said, if you only have one day to spend in London, you're mostly going to be spending your time in the center in Zone 1, which is fair play. And a lot of the most touristy parts of London you can pretty much see in one long walk. Albeit a long walk. But lucky for us, Jerina already followed one of my tips from my mistakes tourists make in London video in that she stayed at a place outside of Zone 1. And, as luck would have it, it's actually at the Clayton Hotel. I've stayed at this once. It's down the road from where I used to live in Chiswick, my old stomping grounds. I know this place like the back of my head. Oh. Anyway, let's go pick up Waltteri and Jerina and begin our amazing day in London. So why did you choose this hotel all the way out in West Chiswick?
Zero reasons. Just there.
Yeah.
We needed to book something.
Okay. Now we picked him up. First tip for coming to London, bring an umbrella. I'm the only one that brought an umbrella because I'm a Londoner. So we now need to go find some umbrellas on Chiswick High Road before taking you to some full English breakfast. Have you ever had a full English? Let's go. Now we're ready to start the adventure. You've got umbrellas. Thank you, Co-op. First up on our itinerary, we're going to explore a bit more of the local area where they're staying. Chiswick has a lovely bustling village vibe with loads to do, and I've made an entire video about it linked above, but for today, we're just going to walk down the high road to get breakfast. But I think it might not be open. It wasn't open.
Iconic.
Needing to burn 30 minutes in the pouring rain, I took the gang to Chiswick House and Gardens. I actually would describe Chiswick House as a hidden gem in London, as most tourists aren't going to venture this far out west to see this beautiful 18th century building that kicked off the English landscape movement that went on to inspire places like Central Park in New York City. For Londoners, it's just a lovely landscaped place for a nice summer picnic. When it isn't raining, that is. All right, what are your thoughts on Chiswick House?
Very pretty. I could live there.
Yeah. It is pronounced Chiswick, by the way. The W is annoyingly silent. Chiswick does sound funny, though. What did you think of the Elizabeth line?
He cooked it.
I mean,
No, what did you think of it?
it's a train, isn't it?
It's a train! So after getting soaked in the uncharacteristically strong London rain, we trudged our way back through the high road to the Chiswick fire station, which no longer stops fires, but instead serves fire breakfasts. Jerina and Waltteri went for a classic full English, while I went for the fanciest beans on toast I have ever seen.
It has to be the best tomato I've ever eaten.
Oh, nice. I'm doing that TikTok thing, so what's your review of the full English breakfast?
Very good.
Very good. 5 out of 5. So in terms of the full English breakfast, depending on where you go, they might have, like, in the north, in like Scotland, they have different ingredients. In Northern Ireland, they have soda bread, which is very delicious.
What?
Soda bread. It's like bread, but...
Maybe Pepsi.
Feeling full of beans and coffee, we hopped on the district line for 45 minutes to go to Westminster, to arguably the most touristy thing to do in all of London. So you've made it. There's Buckingham Palace.
Looks like a just regular house.
Do you know what you get to do here?
Place.
That's it. You've done it. This is the touristy thing to do.
Epic.
I'm gonna offend everyone.
No, it's fine.
A bit of a letdown, honestly.
It is a bit of a letdown, yeah.
Just I've seen way fancier buildings, not the
Stop crossing!
Animal Crossing.
Stop crossing the crown. What's your rating of Buckingham Palace? 1 out of 5. Don't know if you know this, but there's a flag up top. Do you know what that means? So there's not much interesting to do at Buckingham Palace. Sure, you look at it and go, there it is. But there is a flag that is currently flying. That is just the Union flag, the Union Jack. It means actually nothing. However, if you see a different flag up there, which I'm going to put on screen, it's the Royal Standard, meaning the King is in, so he's not in at the moment. At least we have this nice fountain.
Nice pumpkin.
This is nice.
Wow.
I like water.
I mean, yeah, I like water too, but just not so much when it's coming out of the sky. After a short walk, we got to Westminster Abbey and to Big Ben, truly ticking off the most touristy spots all in one go. Yeah. So basically, as your fun fact, he has been covered in scaffolding for about 5 years, and he's just been cleaned and finished as of like last year. So. Yeah, good eye, good eye. This is the part where I'd like to state just how difficult it is to both hold an umbrella to avoid the rain as well as get interesting shots with your camera. I was pretty much one-handed, but we finished up admiring Ben, or Elizabeth Tower for those who still use his dead name, and we passed both Scotland Yard as well as the London Eye, which just this past week was officially made a permanent part of the city, as originally, if you didn't know, it was only meant to be up for the millennium. Better than the palace.
Better than the palace. So far, everything is.
So everything's... Wow.
It's not even a joke.
It's all uphill from here. But do museums cost money in Tampere?
Yes.
Yeah, everything.
Everything costs money.
Everything does.
I don't think there are.
But if you stay here, go to the National Gallery. It is 100% free. Well worth a visit. Though I do recommend visiting the National Gallery if your itinerary has more time, we carried on our walk through to Seven Dials. So we're currently in Seven Dials. Seven Dials is one of my favorite parts of London because it is full of these cute little streets, little side streets with little shops that you don't know what to expect. This is Neil's Yard. This is one of my favorite little hidden gems of London.
It's a cute yard.
It's a cute yard, but look at all the different buildings are colored differently and pretty colors. Fun fact, wherever you're traveling in London, look for these little blue things, these little blue roundels, and hopefully from that you should see some historical figure used to live in that building. So this one was filmmaker Monty Python. One nice place nearby offering a lot of great variety of food is Seven Dials Market. It's like London's take on Amsterdam's Foodhallen. But before we got any food, I wanted to take the gang to Forbidden Planet. For those not in the know, Forbidden Planet is a massive store full of the most niche video game and manga related items. Yeah, this is the greatest doormat ever. Enter the Shadow Realm. Oh, is that a netball? Vibration stars? Okay. I'm not gonna ask any questions. But now it was time for lunch and a quintessential English tradition. Now that you're in Britain, you have to wait in the queue. That's part of the culture. Yeah, we went to Dishoom. It's iconic, okay? But something I forgot to consider in my itinerary was that Jerina and Waltteri actually lived in Goa in India for 2 months, so though the Black Dal was really good, I don't think anything they would have served at Dishoom was going to be quite at the same level. Either way, here's our Dishoom order if you're curious. Yeah, look, you fit perfectly. Next, we walked through the Lamb and Flag, one of the oldest pubs in London, to get to Covent Garden. This is the Apple store where I famously held up an iPhone for the Apple October 2014 event. That's right, I peaked 10 years ago. Meanwhile, while Waltteri tries out some dances for his own iPod commercial, we walk into Covent Garden Market, where we're met, as always, with some sort of live performance. But as I wanted to give the gang an even more London-y day, we hopped in a black cab to take us to our next destination, while the gang had nowhere to run from my awful puns. They give more money to
Muscular people, yes. They
the baby cows at the gym. They give
Baby
them,
cows?
Yeah, they give them calf raises. All right, now, why do gym rats always appear late? I don't know. I actually can't remember the end of my joke.
I love that, actually.
It was the funniest.
We then went into Proof Rock Coffee, which serves up some of the best coffees in all of London. It was after 3, so I went with a decaf, which was surprisingly good, while Jerina went for a classic flat white. After passing a humorously named street, we got to a place I was sure they would recognize. Yeah, you just said, what is this? The St. Paul's Cathedral.
I've heard the name.
This is the St. Paul. He built it himself.
Good for him.
But we can't get in. Evening prayer is sometimes said. Yeah, it's a little cigarette hole.
It looks like an owl.
Oh, you're purpley. Shove your purpley in there, you know? You can see St. Paul's from here. There he is in all of his glory. As your fun fact, whenever a new building in London is built, it is not legally allowed to block the view of St. Paul's from another building that is at the same height. As an asterisk, there are currently 13 protected views in London, meaning that a new building cannot be built if it blocks any of these protected views. This is why we have buildings shaped like a walkie-talkie and a cheese grater. Their shapes were done to prevent blocking a protected view. But now it's on to Millennium Bridge to cross the River Thames. So, do you know anything about the Tate Modern?
Nope.
It's just another free museum for everyone to enjoy.
Free and open to all.
Free and open to all. Sadly, no time to go into any free museums today, but we did get into an argument over whether or not the walkie-talkie building actually looks like a walkie-talkie. It is a very walkie-talkie.
I mean, it's like
Yes.
walkie, but
It's curved on one end. After explaining the interesting reason why Shakespeare's Globe is located across from St. Paul's, the gang then proceeded to bully the globe. It looks German.
it looks a little fake too. It doesn't look like a
Yeah.
fake. That should exist.
It's probably because the
Maybe.
wooden parts are very old and
And then
gray,
also like
and the whites have been repainted over and over.
Hard to believe. But it's a palace. In the day, it made Buckingham Palace look like a shed.
I mean, it still looks like.
With even more rightful bullying of Buckingham Palace, I was then surprised by one of Waltteri's observations. We have a lot of spikes.
You do. We don't.
No, barbed wire as well.
Lazy in Acton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Acton has a lot of barbed wire. If you visited Acton by accident, you can't complain about the barbed wire.
Literally can't think of anything.
You're not inspired?
No.
No? It's not anything like Acton, though.
No.
No,
Acton hits different.
Slowly walking our way towards Tower Bridge at the moment. Iconic. That's kind of like the last thing we'll see before we finally get to the Barbican Conservatory. What is this?
Look at that face.
Oh, that is one big nose. That's really nice. You're now getting called out for this.
No.
This is not London Bridge. This is Tower Bridge. Because it's tower.
thing.
It's not the same thing.
Same shit, different.
Bridge.
Bridge.
You got to witness this. This only happens like, I don't know, a couple times a day.
Oh, yeah, because the other ones are low enough.
Wow. We've walked for quite a long time. We've now made it to Tower Bridge. So of everything you've seen so far, I want you to rate, as someone who's never been to London before, top tier and overrated. So
Here at Buckingham Palace.
Everybody should see it. It's amazing.
Honestly,
That was
go
the lowest.
there.
All right.
Parks have been nice because I like greenery.
we still have the highlight with the plant place.
I've already forgotten.
Yeah, what did we do?
Places we've-
London is very forgettable.
I did like the pub. The one pub we saw.
Oh yeah, we saw one pub.
One.
Waltteri said, "Oh, there's just no pubs in London," and then I pointed every single pub out for the next mile. Oh yes, I believe your comment was, "London's full of bricks." I didn't notice until they said, "Why is there so many
There
bricks?"
are a lot of
bricks.
bricks. Everything's made out of bricks.
Yeah.
Working week.
What was also everything's spiky here? Just a lot of barbed wire and
Barbed
spikes.
wires. This crime.
Which isn't there. It's not really London's fault that they didn't listen to my directions and went to Acton. So, blame Act. All right, now we're headed off to the Barbican Conservatory for a plant-filled evening.
I'm excited for
That's what I've planned to do. No touristy visit to London is complete without a walk over Tower Bridge, a glance at the London skyline, and a walk past the old Tower of London. Wait, you said you liked bricks.
I love bricks.
These are the oldest bricks ever.
Oh, sorry. Nice bricks.
Exhibition. No idea.
And finally, I was truly saving the best for last. Hidden away in the financial district of the Square Mile lies the Barbican estate. After the bombing of World War II, many parts of London were decimated. It was decided that in this area, one large estate should be built to have affordable housing, shops, pubs, a church, and even a local art center. The Barbican is one of the most beautiful examples of brutalist architecture standing, in my opinion. And the way that the upper walkways twist and turn through concrete pillars and reveal the large swathes of the plant-filled estate feels just like how a modern city neighborhood is meant to be.
It's a video game.
Right? Look at this. But another amazing aspect of the Barbican is its conservatory. And can you believe the entire Barbican Conservatory is free? You can book the same day, 10 a.m. Just type it on in. Free tickets to this lovely free plant exhibition.
Cutting.
Oh my God. Imagine if you...
Look at the fenestrations.
They're insane. That's a massive fiddle leaf tree. This is an elephant ear plant.
Yes.
Actually, don't be coy. It's a fish.
Yeah.
Avocado. Thanks. Look at it.
Definitely the biggest monster leaf I've ever seen.
Oh, that's insane.
There's one, and there's a two, and there's a three.
Oh my God, this is the pineapple banana, the fruit of the Monstera deliciosa. I knew Jerina loved plants, so taking her to the UK's biggest conservatory outside of Kew Gardens was a really big win. But the whole area is definitely worth a visit, even just to walk around the estate. It is particularly beautiful for photography too, especially at golden hour when we were there. But our full day in London isn't over quite yet. So, review of the Barbican Conservatory.
So good.
So good. Hidden London gems. Well worth it, very free.
Very good.
And it's in this lovely estate. Better than the palace. Rank, good. So
Controversial.
it was the top tier.
It was amazing.
It was a big
All right.
This was peak.
Worth it.
Now, originally I had scheduled us to visit the Grapes, Sir Ian McKellen's pub. We're very exhausted from walking 23 kilometers today. So we're now going to go to Wicked Fish in Spitalfields, which serves gluten-free fish and chips. Oh my God, your first fish and chips. So London.
Any fish and chips.
Not like this.
Not like gluten-free fish and chips. Wow.
Is it warm?
I told you, it's not what you expected.
I thought it was cold.
Oh, it's mushy.
You can get like pea hummus in Finland, and that's pretty
Fish is
good.
done, I think it's
This is pea soup.
really.
It's literally pea soup. It tastes exactly the same. Add a couple of tiny bits of meat there, and that's pea soup.
It's pea soup. Colored, though.
Do you feel London-y now? Do
It's so London.
you feel London?
5 chips out of fish.
5 chips out of fish. Honestly, I was very impressed with the Wicked gluten-free chips.
Very fresh.
This is the OG London.
Cool.
Yep, you can still see bits of it. And then we end the evening at some Dirty Dicks, a classic British pub. So after sharing a pint in the pub that I had one of my first interviews in for a marketing job nearby, we finished our long day in London and bid Jerina and Waltteri goodbye after an amazing and jam-packed day as I head back to my studio to wrap this one up. Woo! Wow, that was quite a lot of walking. For those of you that were trying to guess how we managed to see so many things in London in such a short amount of time, it was quite literally, what, like 12 hours? We walked 25 kilometers. That's over half of a marathon, and half of it was through torrential London rain. But we managed to see all the stuff that I wanted for the most part, so that's great. London is such a huge city with so much to do that you really can't see as much as you want in under 12 hours, really. But I think I did my best at mixing super touristy stuff that they really didn't care for, and then also the stuff they really liked, like the Barbican Conservatory, which is a free thing. I really also used to love the Sky Garden, which was my #1 tip for tourists to visit, until it got too popular, and now you have to book like a month in advance, and it's not really worth it in my opinion. But you know what's always worth it? My video sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace, if you didn't know, is your all-in-one website builder. I myself built evanedinger.com using Squarespace. I thought it was going to be a bit more difficult than it was, but it was actually quite simple. There was a lot of different templates I could choose from. I picked the one I liked, had a little tweaky, and then bam, got myself a site. And it wasn't like, oh, well, that's it. That's the website. No, I could change it all I wanted through the years. I added a blog. I added a portfolio. Actually, that was from the start. I made a little web store to sell my prints and LUTs. Honestly, it was really, really easy and really, really fun. And I just like that I still have a nice professional looking website that I can have my email signatures, just because it looks just more professional than just saying, here's my Instagram. You know, it's like, hey, I own a website. Pretty big deal. So if you'd like a pretty big deal, sign up today using squarespace.com/EvanEdinger or use code EvanEdinger at checkout, and you can get 10% off a year-long plan. Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring as usual. And without further ado, well, let me just wrap these up. If there's anything that I missed out in my little tour that you would have liked to add in, please tell me in the comments. I really did try my best. I spent an entire day planning this itinerary, only to find out that it was gonna rain, so I didn't change anything after finding out the rain. I still committed. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your thoughts are on this video, as I do love making London-y type content, and you know, it would have been a little bit better if it hadn't rained, but I also think that makes it just a bit more real. It did rain quite a lot, and that is stereotypically London, so hopefully Jerina and Waltteri can remember to come back again so they can visit when it's not so rainy. What was this? I'm like whispering to them. And hey, I don't usually do this, but if you have any ideas for a similar type of content within this vein, give me a shout in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it. I really like making this type of content. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next Sunday. Tschüss.